welcome to heCast, the official podcast of He Changed It. As always, I am Mike Chisholm. As always, I'm excited to be here. I'm really excited today because we've got a rad guest who he and I can just go for hours. It's a returning guest. I'm very excited to start talking to Gene here. But before I do, I must do the obligatory. If you have not downloaded the He app, what are you waiting for? Go to hechangeit.com. Go to your Google store or your iPhone store. Look up He Changed It. Find the He app. Download it. If you haven't shared or subscribed to this podcast, please do. The He Changed It overlords, as I like to say, are very happy when the metrics show that people are sharing and subscribing. So please do that. We're so excited about where He Changed It is going. Lots of cool things to announce. Lots of amazing things to happen that are coming down the pipe. But today we are going to talk to a coach. Is he a life coach? Is he an enjoyment coach? Is he a happiness coach? What kind of coach is he? Gene Bernier is a coach that helps people clarify where they're at, where they're going, and helps them get there with a smile on their face as many times as possible. He is one of the very first guests that we have had on the podcast. And we have always said to many of our guests, please come back, please come back. Now we're starting to get those receipts in, and we're having Gene back here right now. We also have a very cool distinction. Gene, did we inspire you to start your own podcast? Is that how it started? Is that how Peel Back started?
It was actually a big part about that. So the live cast conversations with Powered by Peel Back was definitely inspired by sitting across this table going, well, maybe I can do this, and hearing my own voice on, I think it was episode 9.
Yeah, it was real early.
Like, who is that guy? Man, he sounds good. Well, maybe I can do this. And you just start one show at a time. And now we're up to, I'm doing 73 this Wednesday.
73. Okay, so that's since episode 9. So you have been going crazy this last year and a bit.
It's been busy.
Okay, so let's tell everybody, first and foremost, where they can find you. Let's plug the show right now.
All right, so peelback.com will take you to the primary site. So we stream every Wednesday on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and even Twitch and Twitter now. So it's all over the place. So if you look for livecast conversations with, you'll find the playlist on YouTube, or you just search up Peel Back. It's spelled P-E-A-L-E-D, back. So it's spelled wrong on purpose because it's an acronym for Presley, Elliot, Alice, and Logan, who are my children.
Oh my God, you hit us right in the feels with that one. That's very, very cool. Okay, and so I talked earlier in the teaser a little bit about what kind of a coach are you? I know that is something that you're kind of playing with right now. The idea of going, okay, am I a life coach? Am I this? Am I that? You were talking about being an enjoyment coach, happiness coach for a while there, but at the end of the day, you're still kind of finding your place in the coaching world.
Oh yeah, big
time. How's that progress going?
Oh, well, that's a very loaded question. Yeah. So the progress is, I enjoy the progress. So I'll put it that way. So originally when I started doing coaching, I called myself an enjoyment coach. Why? Because I wanted more enjoyment in my life. I'm like, this makes sense. I don't know anybody else who's an enjoyment coach. So there's enough of like a little bit of a riff to cause some questions for people to go, oh, I like your title.
You're like disturbing and intriguing. An enjoyment coach. I wonder what an enjoyment coach is, right? That was your line of thinking.
That was the original line of thinking. And
I get it.
I love giving myself my own title. So for the last little while, I've had, when I ran a company called Cheeky Monkey, I was the chief, what was I? The chief banana peeler? No, I was the chief monkey wrencher. And, much funner than saying CTO or anything along those lines.
Absolutely.
And so when it came to starting Peel Back, I'm like, I get to create another title. This is great. And then I realized I was causing a lot of confusion.
Yeah.
But, so if I wasn't clear about what an enjoyment coach was, then who else could be clear about what an enjoyment coach is, right? So at the end of the day, is anyone sitting around going, man, I just need more enjoyment in my life and my business. Maybe deep down,
even though we do,
but
we don't talk about it.
But that's not the initial pain, right? Like that's like, what are all the symptoms? And be like, well, I've got frustration. I don't know where I'm going. I feel like I'm in a fog. Be like, when I look in the mirror, do I even know the person who's standing in front of me anymore on that other side of the mirror? Am I avoiding challenging things? Be like, these are all all the top line symptoms that people are going to have. Be like, we start to address that. All of a sudden be like, well, I'm actually a little bit more happier in my life. I got a little bit more enjoyment. So now it's just coming to this reality that I need to actually speak not what I desire, but like, what are the things that I can help with, and how can I help those? Because I've been the guy that's been in all those spots before.
Yeah. So right now you're calling yourself a coach.
Just a coach.
Okay, so let's go back to that place though. The people who are in frustration, the people who are, spinning their wheels, so to speak. We're recording this in Canada in the wintertime. A lot of people spinning a lot of wheels right now. When people are spinning their wheels, and that's the focal point, the frustration, the anxiety, the worry. It's not the flip side. It's not, I wish I had more happiness and enjoyment in my life. They just kind of get laser focused on that stuff.
Yeah. If we want to play on the spinning our wheels a bit in the snow, like they're stuck. It's just like they're wishing they had 4x4. They could get out of this thing. Maybe they needed a shovel and they wish they would have brought their shovel with them, right? To dig themselves out. And you get so focused on that. It's just like, I don't want this pain. I don't want this pain. I don't want this pain. Well, what are you focusing on?
Yeah.
You're focusing on the pain. Yeah. And where we focus and where we put our attention, we get more of that.
Absolutely.
Right? And sometimes you need somebody to come along going, hey, what are you doing? Well, what? Like, what are you doing? Why are you just digging this hole? I'm trying to dig up. Be like, nah, that's not how that works. Here's the ladder. Let's get you out. Now let's figure out what's going on in your world, right? I found through my training and everything else and working with clients, it really comes down to perspectives.
Yes.
It's like that when we're digging that hole, we're stuck in that one perspective.
Yeah.
And then when somebody else that you can trust will come along and be like, hey, what if we looked at it from this angle? What about this angle over here? And we start having an opportunity just to break them out to go, okay, I'll step over here. Great. Now tell me what it feels like to be over here. What is available to you when you stand over here?
Yes.
Like, oh, well, actually, there's a ramp out, or I could use these rock holds to get out of this hole. Exactly, right? So I think coaching really just comes down for me is like, how can I get other people to stand in a different perspective first? Then how can I get them to feel that perspective? And then what's the actions that they can take from that perspective?
I love the starting point. What if, and I mean, right now, I think that we're in such polarized times. Like if you look at our neighbors down south politically, right? You look at the Americans and where they're at politically, how when people are disagreeing with each other, it's like for many people, like mortal hatred for each other, right? And you look at COVID and where people are at when it comes to, everyone's got not everyone, but many people have got very, very strong opinions on things and they entrench.
Yeah.
And I love the idea because at the end of the day, I haven't met a ton of entrenched people who are enjoying their life, whatever it is, whatever it is they're entrenched in.
Yeah.
I haven't met a lot of people who are throwing grenades over the wall at somebody else and really, if you were to sit them down and say, hey, you having a fulfilled, enjoying life right now? I'm not seeing a lot of people who would say yes to that.
No, well, that kind of stuff becomes their jailer, right? Like it's it's like the chains are on your hands. You're like, oh, they're so locked on. I'll take somebody to just be like, they were never locked in the first place. They were just draped over it. Yeah.
And your move of saying, what if it looked like this? Like just the idea of and I think many times we should all over each other. That's a used tired cliche that we've read in a million personal development books. We don't should all over that someone. You should do this. You should do that. I love how you come to them and say, hey, what if?
Yeah.
Like if to me is a word of possibilities. And the idea of what if you looked at things this way?
Yeah.
And just opening up the idea that something different to what you're doing could lead you to a different destination. And it seems elementary, and I guess it kind of is, but when our emotions get all ramped up, elementary goes out the window.
Oh, big time, right? Like everything shuts down, especially if you get into like a heightened emotional state. Be like, well, our brains were developed. They're a survival tool. They're there to help us survive. And all those emotions have a place and have a time. And they also have a message, right? But if you don't slow down, you don't take the breath to feel like where in your body is that emotion showing up. Like just get really aware with the energy. It can't dissipate. You can't hear what it's trying to tell you. Be like, yes, that email or that message from your boss might spike your heart and everything else. But is it the end of the world?
Right.
Can you face it? Have you faced it before?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Yes, you are. Yeah. And it's just about like seeing it and understanding that this too shall pass. And sometimes when you don't realize that or can't see beyond it, you get stuck in it, right? Like,
Mhm.
and it's just that stuck that causes all the problems that you were just talking about, right? Like that at no point do we live a world where it's ones and zeros.
Yep.
That's just not that's not the human experience.
No.
And when did we get to this point that we couldn't have disagreements
Yes.
and still be friends?
Yes.
So what if we pulled that back to ourselves? What if
Right.
we could disagree with something that a thought that comes up, be like, whoa, does that make me a bad person? No, that's just a thought. And it's okay. Disagree with it, let it go, still be friends with yourself.
Yeah. You know, what you're talking about there is an awareness where I think what happens for a lot of people is the blinders kind of go on,
Yeah.
and the autopilot gets engaged, and life is just going through the motions for some of those people. And what you're talking about there, anybody can do. It's the analyzing where you're at, what you're thinking. And many times when we do analyze it, whatever analogy you want to tell yourself, holy smokes, I'm jealous of this person, so I want to cut this cord.
Yeah.
I want to cut that cord of jealousy, right? Great. That's a great way of looking at it. I want to take this. Oh man, I'm feeling really stressed about work right now. So I'm going to pray about it. Whatever. Okay. I'm going to talk to my friend about what I'm going through right now. Okay. Whatever mechanism that we use to release that stuff and to get unstuck.
Yeah.
The key comes down to the reason that analyzation happens in the first place is because you become aware of it and you take the autopilot off.
Yeah.
And you reflect. And I think that is a key that we are missing. We're not given encouragement through some of these different channels to reflect on things.
No.
You know, I look at what some of the, I'm not going to talk about vaccine or anti-vaccine or anything like that. But there's lots of little snappy phrases out there, educate before you vaccinate.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. But what are you educating yourself on? What are you becoming aware of?
Yeah.
And if you decide to just stop and make your life like still water for a second and start analyzing these things, these decisions, these mechanisms can be put into place.
Oh, yeah.
Why do you think we don't do that enough?
Oh, we're not taught.
Yeah.
Plain and simple, right? Like that's not been part of there's no shade to the education system at all, but that's just,
it's not a focal point.
it wasn't a focal point, at least not when I went to school. Now I see in my kids that things are changing, right? And they're talking about filling the emotional bucket and taking dips and stuff from it and awareness and
That's
meditation.
amazing.
So those kind of things are coming into it. But for the longest time, a lot of that was woo-woo, right?
Yeah.
And it may be, and some of it may totally be, but the reality is this concept of meta awareness where you're watching your own mind, analyzing what's happening right now.
Yes.
So you can actually take that third person view of wow, my body and my mind are going through something. And as soon as you're doing that, you're basically going into the control room
Yes.
of it all, going, what's happening here?
Yeah.
What's really occurring?
Yes.
Oh, I'm having an emotional experience. What would I call this emotional experience? Name it and tame it. Studies have shown it is a real thing, right? So as soon as you can view what is happening from that
Yes.
meta awareness standpoint, stuff all starts to dissipate and you start to look at it differently. But if you stay stuck in it, wow, a life driven by your reactions
Yes.
it's a tough one, right?
It's constant fight or flight, right?
And I think it's a place where so much stress and everything else comes from. We have I don't know, there's a lot of people just in my own circle that I know that have different autoimmune diseases and stuff like that. And I'm no doctor, but I guarantee you a big part of that is due to constant stress.
Yeah.
Right? Our bodies are fighting themselves because everything with stress, stress is a good thing when moderate.
Yes.
Stress is not a good thing when it's on all the time.
Yes.
Right. So if you're constantly living from just, I have to react, be that's a stressful thing.
Yeah.
Because you've never given yourself a moment to break, go, okay, now what?
Yes.
Right. So I always thought there's a component of everyone's going to have a reaction.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever reaction that is okay. And that is the right reaction. But you can put a pause there before you do a response.
Yeah.
Now, if your reaction and response are connected, be that's when you start living in a really chaotic, hectic space because now your life's being controlled by these reactions.
Right.
These reactions are things that are coming up from your subconscious that you've learned over. I'm almost 42, so 42 years of information.
Yep.
So these things come up, subconscious, like bam, here's a reaction that Lord only knows why some of those things happen. But you can have that. If you're like, whoa, what's happening here? You feel it in your body, you put that pause. Is this the response I want? Is this the response that serves me long term? Yes. No. Okay, then respond from like a truthful place. Respond from a brave place and move forward. And then start you can start reprogramming yourself to go, oh, this is the type of what we want to do. We can have this reaction, but we can still have this pause before we have the response. I think that was actually something we talked about on the first episode.
Yeah.
Was like about that too, right? So it still really comes up in what I do nowadays.
Okay, so my first thought goes to my dad because my dad had anger issues. He's conquered them, and we've talked about it. He's been a guest on the podcast. We're real vulnerable about it and talked about it. It's been great. But he talks about this all the time, how he has this new process. Yeah. You know, it's okay to feel angry.
100%.
It's not okay to act angry. And you know, it's okay to feel angry. It's not okay to knock over tables and chairs and throw things or whatever. And the feeling angry, all you got to do is just create a new process. And if you're used to throwing tables around, that's what your brain's going to tell you to do. If you tell your brain, no, throwing tables is bad. I'm going to journal instead. I'm going to hit a punching bag instead. I'm going to go work out instead. I'm going to, whatever it is to get it out. I'm going to do that instead. That's what your body will then start to expect and want you to do. Oh, yeah. And it's not just anger. It's all sorts of other behavioral things that we do. The key is getting into that control room like you were talking about.
Well, exactly. Like I think when I look at emotions, it's just like it's energy in motion, right? So how are we going to use that energy? Anger can be a very useful tool.
Absolutely.
And if wielded without great responsibility, be like, it can cause a lot of damage. But so can any of these other emotions, right? Yeah. Like there's the toxic positivity is a thing that comes out a lot more too.
I want to talk about this. I've been hearing more about I've been a positive person my whole life. Yeah. And so when I hear toxic positivity, sometimes I get my back up a little bit. It's like, okay, what the hell is that? Like, let's talk about toxic positivity for a second.
Like, I think just this whole like toxic period, I think maybe it's Tony Robbins that talks about this, where he's just like fed up with hearing about toxic fill in the blank.
Yeah. It's a word that's getting tread on very well, isn't it?
It's overused. If something's not working for you, just fucking own that part and just get over it and deal with it. You know, like, so where I think this whole concept of toxic positivity is just like the idea of like, well, just like affirmation your way into a better life.
Right.
Be like, bullshit.
Sizzle but no steak. There's no substance to it.
There's no substance to it, right? You can look in the mirror, and if you are in a really down spot, you can say, gosh darn it, I'm a good person and people like me until the cows come home. But your whole body's just going, no, no, no. So what you're really telling yourself is, I'm a liar.
Oh my God.
Oh, so I'm lying to myself again. Wow. Look, if you lie to yourself, who else are you going to lie to? Right? Like,
that is a fantastic way of describing it.
Start to get to it, right? Like, I'll be like, just be happy. Be like, I can't be right now.
Right.
And that's okay. Be like, I think it's just like trying to put positivity as a Band-Aid over top of everything is like, it's not the right tool at the right time. Is it something to work towards? Yes, we can live a very positive life, but do all things that happen within our life, are they positive? No. Like take your guys' book for an example, right? Yeah. Like that was a situation that no one would say was positive, but the book as a result and the way that you tell the story, well, there's a positive outcome from that, right?
Yes.
And that your granddaughter is healthy and doing well. That's a positive outcome. But in that point, and even reading from your book, be like, there was times that there was no way probably getting through to anybody going, don't worry, Mike, this is going to be all right. Be like, you wouldn't want to hear that.
That wouldn't have helped.
And that would have just pushed
you
further
know what?
away.
I'll tell you this straight up. It happened.
Yeah.
Happened a couple times. Two people come into my mind right now where, and I mean, we didn't write about them particularly in the book, but their responses to us at that point were inappropriate and could be considered that if you want to use that positivity in a negative way, because it was It wasn't substance based at all. It was straight up just airy fairy, right on the surface of things, not realistic to the situation that we were going through. That's a good way of putting it. And I mean, I think true positivity, that's how I'm able to kind of articulate the idea that there is toxic positivity out there versus what my nature is, which is very positive, and not get my back up when I hear it, is the fact that, okay, yes, can I try and take a negative situation and make positive out of it? There are people that are faith-based that are in my life that say, okay, God can take any situation and turn it into a blessing.
Yeah.
That's how they view it. They view it through their faith perspective. You can also view it through a mindset perspective. Yeah, you know what? I went through the shit. But because I went through the shit, I'm going to try and help people when they're going through the shit, or help people avoid going through the shit. Yeah. And that's a positive net result of going through something really hard.
Oh, yeah. Right. And, I think people of service, regardless of what industry they're in, is like, that's really like, that's all we're trying to do is be like, oh, I went through the shit, and we all go through it in some shape or form. So, like, well, I'm not here to compare people's shit from one thing to the other. Be like, everybody has their own experience. And getting through it and then helping others is like, that's the win.
Yeah.
Right. And just sometimes you just need to stand in the puddle with them for a moment and be like, I'm just here.
Do you do that as a coach?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So like, give me a hypothetical / realistic example of someone who's going through something and you go stand in the puddle. What is that like?
Ooh. That's a tough one.
Okay.
Because now I'm like, oh, I'm confident.
Relationship stuff, is that a big one? Like, what's some of the stuff that you hear more of? Is it purpose stuff? Like, guys are like, oh, like what? I don't know what, like that itch they can't scratch. Is it intangible, or is it a lot of tangible stuff? Like, I would like to have a deeper connection with X. I'd like to have a better time at work. I'd like to,
like every example you've just given. Yes. Right. Like, let's just talk about deeper relationships, right? Like, or like, what does even relationships mean? Like, or, they've gotten into a fight with a partner, a business partner, a love connection, or they're having a challenging co-parenting situation. It's like, sometimes you just need to be like, yep, that is happening right now.
Right.
Cool. Now let's let that dissipate for a hot minute. And when they're ready, because in a coaching environment, it's different than if I were to come to you as a friend, give you a hug and be like, cry about the situation with your granddaughter, versus a coach would be like, that sucks. Let's stand in it for a second, feel it. Okay. And what else?
Right.
What next? What are you feeling from this?
Right.
What's available to you from here? Right. Like, from that standpoint, we can start to talk about, maybe I can start to shift you into a perspective. Tell me about the fun of this. Tell me about, for you, we could nail into the cat ears, right? Like, tell me about what the fun really meant to you.
Yeah.
How that brought your positivity through.
Right.
Now we've added to your well. So you can go back and be like, oh, I've been in this shit. Be like, oh, and here's an opportunity. Here's where I made it fun. Here's where I brought my positivity. So this is possible. So when you sit in front of that mirror, we go back to that affirmation. Be like, I have brought the fun. I know how to bring the fun. Now that you're no longer lying to yourself.
Okay, so right now what we've done is a very good, inadvertently, done a very good commercial for guys to think about either therapy or coaching or things like that, because both of those scenarios you just talked about are necessary.
Oh, 100%.
Like the friend just sitting there in it with you, so you're not alone. That is a super necessary thing, that relationship, that close relationship, whoever they might be. But then the idea, and this is, for guys out there who have a hard time cracking through the granite layered thick idea that therapy or being coached is weakness. Oh. First and foremost, any athletic endeavor you've ever done, boys, you know what? If you've had a great coach, think about people who are champions and how important their coach is to them.
Oh yeah.
And it's, the thing about that is it's so hyper focused with athletics, but life can be like that. And if you can have somebody who isn't just the friend sitting there with you, accepting what's happening, or at least helping you try to accept that it's happening. If you got somebody there that's actually there saying, okay, now that we've accepted it, we can tactically react this way or this way or this way, or have you thought about it this way or done it that way in a professional sense? Because the professional doesn't bring the emotion attach that the friend necessarily would.
That's right.
And they bring, a roadmap of ideas of places that you can go from where you're at. And the one thing that I am truly, truly convinced of is that there is nothing new under the sun.
Oh, no.
There are no brand new problems.
No.
And so we have a wealth of knowledge. And I mean, people like you, that's what you do. I mean, how much of your existence is repeating itself? Like how much of what you do is the exact same solution for a different problem or a different person? I mean, there's probably only 3 or 4 different kind of routes, right?
I laugh only because I literally had that thought this morning. No, it really is. It's like we have this incredible thing called a mind, and it is a powerful tool. But it's like a scalpel and a knife. Am I going to use a knife to sew up my pants? Am I going to use a knife to open a door? Right? Like this knife can overcreate things, and the mind is so powerful at creating that it thinks us into really crappy situations and overcomplicates it. Right?
Yes.
Get right back to keep it simple, silly, or
stupid,
or
shithead,
whatever you need, whatever that last S works for you, you fill it in.
Yeah.
Like, what are the simplest pieces? And more often than not, it's all these same little habits and patterns that kind of show up. These 1, 2, 3 steps that you can take to get out of whatever situation you're in.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, like a big part of it is take the first step, find one thing, right? It really is about just finding one thing. Like I'll pull this back to like my morning routine. How does it all happen? Like I don't get to doing my workout or my meditation until I've walked down the stairs, until I've brushed my teeth, and until I've gone to the bathroom. And none of that happens until my first foot hits the ground.
Right.
So what is all those simple little bits that gets you started? How do you get started on any of this stuff? You got to take that one step, and it's got to be a super simple step. Because the more we complicate it, the worse it's going to get. Like our ego and our mind, powerful tools. They can either be an ally or they're your greatest enemy.
Yeah. Well, I use in the financial world, I use it's a chainsaw. Money's like a chainsaw. It's a powerful tool.
Yeah.
Chainsaws can do all sorts. It can save you, months of work in a day. Right. But if not used properly, it can also, chop your leg off.
I was going to say it's going to chop your leg off if you're not careful.
Yeah. And our minds are like that too. When we do, especially when we act emotionally off the cuff and we haven't tamed our mind and we let it just run roughshod, it many times does get us into trouble. And that's when some of those impulsive, damaging decisions can be made.
Oh, and then you're digging out of it. You're just adding onto your pile.
Yeah.
And it's weird
because you will have to rectify it at some point.
Well, we take it right back to money. Be like, well, it's like taking debt, right? Like you can spend your credit card. Whoa, it feels good in the moment.
Yeah,
you got to pay it.
Yep.
Oh, and there's interest.
Yep.
And that shit compounds.
Absolutely.
But just like in the financial world, be like if you make investments, that stuff also compounds, right? So you start with $1, and eventually you're going to have a lot if you keep compounding it and adding to it. And look at your chainsaw metaphor as well. Well, that chainsaw doesn't work as well if you're not sharpening the blade.
Oh man, great point.
Right? Like you've got to keep sharpening it. You got to do the replacements.
You got to put oil in it. You got to
take care of it. And that's that whole like everything in it. You just got to take care of it, and it will take care of you.
And for our viewers and listeners, just so you're aware, I'm not trying to get y'all to get Gene as a coach here. That's not what I'm trying to do. But what we are trying to say is, but you should. Damn right you should. But what I'm trying to say is that this stuff here is every bit as powerful as getting your 10,000 steps in a day or going to the gym or having a job that strenuously will keep your body kind of oiled and doing its thing. Like every bit as powerful and we all know, like it doesn't matter where we're at from a fitness standpoint. We all know that exercise is good for our body. We all know that. We all know if we take care of our body will take care of us. We all know that. What we don't all know, especially us guys, many times is doing some personal development. Whatever that is, whether it's reading a book, whether it's journaling, all of those things are important. But when you can have somebody in your corner that can interact. I can't interact with a book. Hey, I love my personal development books. They're great, but I can't interact with them. On the very rare occasion I go to the author and we can have a little back and forth. Great. But there is nothing like having that extra set of eyes, that extra set of ears, especially the ears. They listen to you. That's what these professional coaches do. They listen to you more than your friends do.
Oh yeah.
That's your biggest skill is listening, right?
Yeah. Yes. And I think there's a component of like, there's that listening and then there's the being understood. Right. So I think that is like even a much more powerful component of it. Right. Especially when you're trying to work through and figure out like, where are you stuck? Like, what is the challenge point? Sometimes, you know, you're going to sit across from the table and tell me this story. And I'm going to at some point stop and be like, this is what I'm hearing. I'm going to bottom line it. Yeah. And you're going to be like, oh, I just felt heard.
Right.
There's a difference between like listening and being heard. Now all of a sudden you feel heard. Your defenses are going to come down.
Completely different ball game.
We're in a different ball game now, right? Because you're just like, oh, I'm accepted, right? Like it's the Gottman's lab, like when they do the figuring out who's going to get divorced. At the end of the day, who's the ones getting divorced? The ones where one of the partners do not feel understood.
Right. That's where resentment builds up and whatnot, right? Like you don't know me, you don't hear me, you don't want to like, and that's when the cords can be cut in a really bad way.
Yeah, and when you are understood, well, it like you actually will be like, you probably feel this flush in your body.
Yeah,
I know I do. It's just like there's a light on me, and I'm feeling like seen. Like the fences are all down. Like this is the real me on this topic. Okay, now we can really get into it. Until we can get to that point, we're just cutting around. We're trying to break down the wall. And like, if the quickest way through it, it's like, let's understand you. Right. Let's actually have a conversation because I deeply want to understand you. I don't want to give you advice. I don't want to do anything else other than understand you. And if we can understand you, then maybe we can figure out where you want to go. Because as much as the work that I'm doing, the thing that I want to hear is I want to hear that's right, not a you're right. Because that's right, it means, oh, yeah, that is right. That's me owning that, that I'm seeing it versus, yeah, you're right. Be like, oh, you've given me a piece of advice. You hear, oh, yeah, you're right with that kind of body language.
It's almost a submission of defeat there, isn't it?
That's gone in one ear, out the other, and off the other shoulder. It's just like, okay, does this shut you up now?
That's right. As a light bulb moment going ding. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. And don't you love those? I love those.
And that's what I do. Why I love what I do is like, you can see the light bulb moment in somebody's eyes where they're just like, you hit them with something. They're probably going to go F you. And then all of a sudden, boom. Like I tell all my clients that I want you to say F you to me, right? Yeah. Like I want you to say it. That means we're doing the real work because we've hit on something. Right. We've gone into a place that's into the uncomfortable. We go into this brave space where we can practice. You're going to be heard, and we're going to be allowed to get messy with it. Let's do that because that's where the real work's going to come.
How do you stay? I mean, balanced is such a balanced, I guess. I have this analogy I use all the time, and I like ad nauseum, probably way too much. The podcast listeners are probably like, oh, not this one again. Talk about the sponge, all right? Like, how do you keep your sponge hydrated? You take your sponge and you're hydrating all these other people, right? Like you're using it. But at the end of the day, if you wring that thing out and it's got no water in it, you're not good for anybody. You're doing this for people all the time. Yeah. How do you keep your sponge hydrated?
Ooh, good question. Well, first off, you have to understand that you are the sponge, right? Like, and that you need to be hydrated to do whatever.
Self-care.
Self-care
is extremely important.
You got to find that water, right? Like I talk about like serving from your saucer where you basically have your bucket of life or love or whatever you want to say. It's the overflow that should be going to others, right? Because you can't serve somebody from an empty spot, just like your sponge analogy or metaphor is like, well, it's useless you can't clean with it. You can't water or whatever that sponge needs to do is like, it's useless. Yeah. So do you think running it to the point of being useless is a good thing? No. Okay, cool. Well, then what fills that sponge? Yeah. Well, laughter, playing a game, working with my own coach, like exercise, all these things. Be like, well, when was the last time you did any of those? Well, I don't got time for that. So do you really want to be the sponge?
Right. So you have your own coach.
Oh yeah.
See, I keep hearing this, and it's funny. I'm on the search for a mentor right now because I know that it's really important always to have a mentor.
Yeah.
And I mean, the previous person that I had has moved on, and it's like, okay, how? And there are many people who I mentor off of, you know, and they don't even know it.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just, you know, my comet has moved into the direction of their comet. I'm letting them drafting off them, you know, as we fly through space.
Yeah.
That's very important, I think, for coaches, therapists, counselors to say, no, I do too. I have them as well.
Well, wouldn't it be a little like hypocritical of me to be here saying, hey, I'm a coach and this is what I do. Oh, do you have one? Like, no, that's too expensive. Like, that's crazy. No, I'm good. I've done my work. Like, here's, first off, hilarious, right? Like, and people that are in that profession who don't drink their own medicine, be like, do you really want to be taking it from them? Yeah. Are they, where's their sponge at, right? What's their real purpose? Are you just a transaction? So like,
I think that, you know what though, guys who haven't gone to counseling, therapy, coaching, whatever the discipline, right? I think a lot of guys, I think that's one of the blocks. I think a lot of guys think, am I just a transaction? Is this it's a waste of money? It's a waste of time, right? I think that's a great way of putting that. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Well, yeah. And I've had the exact same thoughts in the past too, right? Like some of the work that I've done this in the last 2 years has been like, this isn't humble brag or anything, but like I've spent more financially in the last like year and a half on my own development than I have probably the 40 years before that. Right. And I look at that going, wow, this makes sense about why I'm where I'm at now versus where I was. Right. I'd had coaches and stuff throughout my last kind of like 10 years. And I'm very grateful for the work and kind of the eye-opening things. It takes time.
Yeah.
Like there is no silver bullet to it, unfortunately. Right. And the work is never done. It's just like the Hydra, whatever, you slice one of its heads off and 7 more show up behind it, right? Yeah. Well, that's what's going to happen. You're going to be like, oh man, I'm finally getting good at lifting this like emotional problem, and life goes awesome. Boop. Here's the next one. Yeah. Oh, back to starting, back to only doing 1 rep of it. It's just, I use the gym metaphor a lot to be like, you're going to get to this point of plateau and then you're going to stop seeing changes. Be like, well, what's next?
Yes.
Where are you going to push yourself next? And I truly believe that we're happy as a race when we have heavy things to lift.
Yes.
Now that doesn't just mean physical, but like I'm talking like physical, emotional, and spiritual. Like when you're doing heavy work and just facing it and stepping into it, that's I think where the happiness and enjoyment really is.
Yes.
Because when we're not, we're actually losing capacity to live.
So is it still water? I don't know. I've heard this is the thing about still water, right?
Well, be like, you can either be the pond filled with mosquitoes or you can be the raging river, right? Like, what do you want to be? Or you could even flip that to the ocean. The ocean's constantly moving and it can be beautiful, but if you mess with it and underestimate it, it'll suck you down to the bottom.
Absolutely. I want to go back. Time gets so damn slippery when we do this. Oh my God. We still got a few minutes left. Thank goodness. I want to talk about that self-care thing. Cause I did write, you talk about the book. I did write it. The book is called She Changed Me. That's the first time I think I've even said it on the podcast here. Go to shechangedme.com if you want to see what the book is. It's about how my wife and I negotiated the rough waters of my granddaughter going through cancer. It was but there's a part in the book, I tell you, the biggest life lesson about self-care I ever learned was during that trip. Yeah. We were down in Vancouver for 5 months, BC Children's Hospital the whole time. And oh my God, was I ever humbled when it came to self-care. There are so many men out there right now, and I can fully say that I was one of them. Okay, where they were like, "Okay, you know what? Provide for my family. Yep. Make sure that the roof is over the head, the food is in the bellies. If events are happening, make sure you're that person for them. That you can be that dependable rock. Work, eat the shit. If you're eating shit at work, you eat the shit, eat the shit, eat the shit. You don't never mind the idea of thinking for something bigger or better, and going to work towards it. It was like, no, this is my lot in life. This is how it's going to happen. I've lived that. I understand it. And I have understood what it's like when your sponge becomes bone dry. There's a lot of guys listening to this podcast who are that way right now. They're literally running on that treadmill. Never mind, they haven't even discovered their purpose. They haven't even discovered. They're just running on that treadmill, and it's the realization of self-care and how important it is. I'll use it really quickly. I'll tell the story. I tell the story in the book, but 2 days after we got to BC Children's Hospital, the kids got to stay at Ronald McDonald House. Candy and I are the grandparents, so we had to figure out our own stuff, but we were constantly going to Ronald McDonald House to see the kids and with the baby. Yeah. And I looked, I'm a gigantic Los Angeles Kings fan that I have talked about on the podcast. I'm a huge Kings fan. And as we're going through Ronald McDonald House, I look and I see an LA Kings logo. I'm like, what the heck? Well, one of the Canucks had donated club seats for some people from Ronald McDonald House. Yeah. I was like, well, how do you get these at the counter? And she's like, oh, just put your name in and, we'll decide who gets them. I don't think anybody's put their name in for them. I'm like, all right. So I put my son's name in or my name and let's do it. Right. Yeah. We get a call 45 minutes later, or whatever, take the kids out for lunch or whatever. We get a call. Hey, you want to go to the Canucks game tonight? Happen to be the Kings in town. You're like, yes. Yeah. I'll tell you this though. And even though we had our daughter-in-law and my wife and Alara squared away, right, and they were having a good old night, yeah, I had Drew Doughty waved at me. Okay. That was huge. Like I walked down and I pointed at him. He looked at me and pointed at me on the ice. Okay. I had a shitty time at that game. And it was because I didn't give myself, I felt guilty. Yeah. I felt guilty that I was going to see the LA Kings, which is one of my greatest joys since I was a child. Yeah. But I felt guilty because Alara's here at BC Children's Hospital. She's got surgery in a couple days and we didn't know what to, and I literally felt so guilty about it until I broke. About a month later, I broke during that process, and the self-care thing became, it revealed itself to me. Fast forward to 6 weeks later, Bill Burr's in town. My buddy from Vancouver said, hey, stop what you're doing. Tonight, I'm taking you to go see Bill Burr. And I had learned that lesson. Yeah. And I had so much fun laughing. The laughing was just, oh my God, it was so necessary. And I gave myself permission to laugh, and it filled my sponge. Yeah. Guys out there who are in that boat and you don't exercise self-care, you're not being selfish. I'm just telling you that straight up. Sorry, I monologued there for a minute, but I mean, yeah, I know that's what you teach guys to do, right?
It's just so important. Like it is that you said the word permission, right? Yeah. And like, we need to get past this like shame of like, oh, am I not being enough provider? What if I'm having fun? Be like, have the fun. Yeah. You know what you talked about, like part of you also mentioned purpose. Like, well, where's my purpose? Be like, your purpose is to live a full life. Yeah. That is your purpose, right? Like go live. And what you will find from that is like your purpose will change over time. Yes. But it will show up because you choose to live fully towards it. Yeah. Who knows what it is? Mine's going to change. Mine's changed multiple times. But I know by living and by stepping into it and being okay with like giving myself some self-care is what's going to be that path to it. You need to laugh. Like there was nothing that was going to change that situation. And you could have still enjoyed your favorite team.
Yeah. I mean, it would have filled up my tank. Yeah. It was an opportunity. If I could go back and do that over again, I would have enjoyed the hell out of that night. Yeah. Because it was an opportunity to fill my tank when my family needed me. And what would you rather do, whatever it is, whoever it is that you're serving, whether it's your family, whether it's your spiritual life, whether it's your work, whatever, would you rather serve it with a full tank or an empty tank?
Oh yeah.
Right?
Well, it comes down to you're going to be the person that's not present for his kids, for his wife, maybe got another divorce on the horizon. Yep. Like, oh, that's going to suck. Be like, or you could actually take care of yourself and you could have your rituals with your kids and with your wife and with your friends and your work. And you can actually find the enjoyment in the process. Yes. I don't think the enjoyment comes from the attaining of the goals, but you can enjoy the steps. Yeah. And if you can enjoy the steps, then you are so much further ahead than everybody else. Learn to enjoy the steps.
See, we had a WWE or former WWE wrestler on the other day, and he was talking about it. It was a 15-year journey to get to the WWE. He worked there for 6 years, and then COVID happened and all that, and he's now independent. But it's so funny how many people think, okay, I'm going to work my ass off. That goal, going to the WWE to perform at the highest level, right? Yeah. Okay, you get there. It's not done. It's just beginning at that point. Oh, yeah. And I think that when it comes to goals, that's where we got to realistically go, okay, life's going to go on. Yeah. Even when you start achieving these goals, okay, that's when the when the journey really begins.
Yep.
When you get to that place. And I think many times we live lives where we think that destination is it, and the curtain goes down and the show's over and that's it because you made it, and it's not
I'm
like that
here.
at all.
And then the lights go out and you're like, where'd everybody go?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, even like the astronauts that first went to the moon came back to this fanfare, and then it was over.
Yes.
And like most of them were in depressions for years because what's next? Everything led to that. And so like, we'll rattle on for the goal thing. Like if you are goal focused, as you're getting close to your goal, prep for what's next, so that you don't lose. So you don't lose the momentum of getting to that goal. That goal is helping you, whatever that is. If you've set it, then it's good and it's the right one to go to. If it's moving you, however that is, it's one step each day. Take it, and when you know that you're close to it, plan the next one. Yeah. So that you can, and then celebrate when you attain it. Yes. You got to, because men, I imagine you are like how I was and how most of my friends are that I know. We don't celebrate anything.
Yep.
We stop.
Yep.
And we go, okay, what's next? No, celebrate it.
Yes.
You know, celebrate it, remember it, and then go on to the next thing. Yeah. Because why are you working so hard if you're not even going to enjoy it? You're going to wait to retirement? Great. Guess what happens?
Oh, I know.
Most of those guys die.
Yep.
Within a few years.
Yep. That's the one that kills me, because there are so many guys where that's their focal point. And you talk about, they're not even focused on, you know, they've got this goal of retirement.
Yeah.
But they're not doing what you're talking about, saying, okay, during retirement, I'm going to do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. Like they don't talk about how busy their life is going to be when that big chunk of their life is now open, that they were spending time working. And that's where that purposelessness really, really comes in. Yeah, I love the idea of, you've got a goal that you're working towards, but, you know, start doing some drawing as to what it's going to look like when you achieve that goal and what's next.
Yeah. Like, where's this leading you to?
Where's it leading you to?
Right. Is there bigger macro goals that these micro goals are leading you to? Like, you know, exercise for myself is like, I want to have a dance party when I'm 100. So I get up in the morning and I work out. Right. Why? Because 100-year-old me will be very thankful that I did that, because it will be very painful if I don't.
It's going to be hard to floss at 100 if you don't prep for it.
It's going to be extremely hard to be dancing and shaking my ass up on that table if I'm not doing my stretches.
It's on the table now.
Oh, wow, God, yes, it's on the table. Tie around my head and the whole thing. This is happening, right? So this is, but and that is like that is my macro goal for like exercising and keeping healthy. And where was I going with that?
Well, the goals, the whole thing about goals and knowing the next step, even when you have a goal that you're working towards, what's the next step? You know, I'm looking at buying one of those new Broncos, right? I'm going to buy one of the big Broncos. It's I've got a huge waiting list, whatever. I'm thinking about places I want to drive that thing.
Oh yeah.
The day that I get it,
that's
not where the journey ends. I got my Bronco. It's done. No, it's the places that I get to go in it. That's the part that I'm excited about. I can't wait to take the roof off of it and drive downtown. I can't wait to take it on a road trip down to Vancouver. I can't wait to take it out, you know, on some trails and see what it can do out there. Like, that's why I want the thing. Yeah. Not because to say that I did it and now the curtain goes down, right?
Well, it's literally your vehicle to more stories.
Yeah.
More adventures.
Not just a metaphor.
Yeah.
It's right, because that's exactly right. And that's not even a metaphor. That's exactly right in this case. And I'm really excited that we talk about these things. We're 48 minutes. We like to go 45. Time gets so slippery with Eugene. I'm so grateful that you're in our lives. You've been cheering us on. We're cheering you on. It was a pleasure to be on your show a few weeks back too.
It was a pleasure to have you and Candy on it.
My God, Peeled Back looks so good. It's so slick, and you're gonna share some of your production secrets with us a little bit to get us looking a little bit more, especially for the remote podcasts, the in-person ones. Hula Creative does a phenomenal job for our in-person
I am jealous of
here.
this setup, honestly.
Well, it helps. You know, we'll let the cat out of the bag a little bit with Hula Creative. That's my stepson and his wife. That's their company, and we just happen to have a phenomenal video marketer as our we're very really blessed for all sorts of reasons, but I just got to tell you, I'm so grateful that we're kind of on these parallel journeys together, and we can sharpen each other, we can help each other grow, but I'm really grateful for what you do for people. And thank you very much. My mom was a care aide. And she would come home and tell these stories about, like, she'd be all night at someone's house or at the manor that she worked for. And, she would talk about what some of these very vulnerable old people are going through at the later stages in life. And a lot of it's not pretty. And I would just listen to her and go, oh my God, Mom, I'm so grateful that there are people like you in the world that do what you do. Gene, I feel that way about you. I'm really grateful that there are people in the world that do what you do to help us make our lives better. If people want to reach out to you, to your show, let's plug it again. What's the best way for people to reach you? Because you do coaching over remote, right?
Oh yeah. Most of my clients are remote.
Yeah.
So not everybody lives in Kelowna that I work with. Yeah. And that's the beauty of what we get to do. So the easiest way to find me is just at, peelback.com or find me on LinkedIn. So just Gene Bernier at LinkedIn, or I think genebernier.com still takes you right to my LinkedIn profile. So those are the quickest and easiest ways. And the show is called Livecast Conversations With, and it airs live streams every Wednesday on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch.
Oh man, Gene, we're going to say it again, like we said it last time. Please don't let this be the last time you appear on heCast.
I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Me too. Me too. Thank you so much. And as he starts to expand and whatnot, we're going to have a place for coaches to come meet people. Oh, yeah. That's one of the things where He Changed It goes to 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever in the next iteration. There's a whole pile of things in the roadmap, and part of that is putting coaches and people who need to be coached together. I know you're with us for the long haul when it comes to this stuff. So thank you very much for everything that you do. They go by so quickly, these episodes. They are the highlight of my week. I'm so excited every time I get the best job of all, because I get to have the conversations with these folks in person for the most part, also remotely. Thank you very much for being a passenger on this journey. That is He Changed It. And some great things are coming down the pipe right now as we speak. In fact, it's an honor to be doing this. It's a blessing to have you all join with us here on another episode of heCast, the official podcast of He Changed It. My name is Mike Chisholm. Go change something.